Hello Picasso Pups, Miss B here. This week we are going to be doing some observational drawing of the fall leaves that seem to be blowing off the trees day by day. So I went outside my house and in my yard I found all these beautiful, beautiful colors. All of these colors are warm colors because our warm colors are red, yellow, and orange. So I'm noticing that with these leaves, some of them have multiple colors in them. Like this one has red and yellow veins. Those are the yellow veins on there. I did find one completely brown leaf, and brown is considered a neutral color, but it does kind of have a little bit of orangish tinge to it. So I still thought it would look nice in my drawing. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pick 3 leaves that I think are really interesting and are different from one another. So I really like this one that has the yellow veins in it. So I'm going to keep that one. And then I have some from a different kind of a tree here. So I'm going to use that one. So now I need some orange. I feel like I need some orange and some yellow in my stack here. Let's see what I can do. How about, oh, my dog is barking. You probably hear him. He wants to play with the other dog, but she, I don't think, wants to. Hopefully they'll quiet down. All right, so I've got some leaves here that I think are interesting. I'm going to use this dark red one. And I've got the one with the veins. I'm still thinking about which ones look the most interesting. Kind of like this one because it has red and it's sort of faded, but I think I'm going to use this one. So I'm going to keep this one, and this one. All right, so there's a couple different ways that you could do this type of drawing. And if you're feeling a little nervous about your drawing skills, one way to do this would be to simply trace around your leaf. So I'm going to use a marker and I'm just going to trace the outline of my maple leaf here. So I have the right shape. I want to be careful as I go. So once I've got the outline shape, then I'm going to study the leaf with my artist eye and I'm going to add in the colors. Let's get a couple more of them on. So one other way that you can do observational drawing is to kind of ask your artist's eye to look at the edge and then your hand sort of follows what your eye sees. So it goes something like this. I can see that there's a swoop down. So I'm just letting my hand sort of follow my eye as I study the outside shape of the leaf. So that one's done. Let's try this one. This one has like this sawtooth edge to it. So once again, I'm just going to let my artist's eye follow the edge. Now, if you want to just trace all your leaves, that's fine, because really what we're trying to focus on today is our warm colors. So hopefully you've had a chance to kind of poke around the art room a little bit, the Bitmoji classroom. I've got a song about warm colors. I've got all kinds of fun things. There's even a science video that explains to you why the trees change colors. I'm moving my stem over to kind of make it a little more centered. So now I want to study how each of these leaves are different. So in this leaf, while the color is red, the veins, the things that carry the nutrients to the tree, are in fact yellow. So I'm going to use my yellow marker and I'm going to carefully look at how many veins I see. There's 2. Goes up to that corner, and then we've got these big ones that come swooping in from way outside on the edge. And if you look really closely, there's also a few little tiny veins that show up. Not on everyone, just a few. That's what my artist eye sees. So I've got the veins on that one. Where's my little red one? This leaf, I really don't see the veins on the front, but if you flip the leaf over, you can actually feel the texture of the veins that are on there. So it's just that the veins are really the same color as the leaf. So we can just use our artist license, because it's our drawing, right? We make the choices. And I'm going to add in those veins even though I couldn't see them on the front. They really look like they come from each little sawtooth, each of those little points or peaks into the center, like that. And last but not least, over here, we've got another leaf that has the yellow veins in it. This one is definitely more faint, so I'm going to just kind of sketch those in. This one, the veins don't line up, I'm noticing. They kind of stagger every other one. This one goes all the way up to the tip. One comes out over here. Then I'm noticing there's a little branch there that seems to be even. And there's another small branch up there. Okay, same thing over here. I've got 2 little veins coming off. Like that. So I looked very closely and carefully with my artist eye so I could notice the differences. Now we're going to work on doing our colors. So I've got my oil pastels here, and I'm going to start with a base color of red. Now I'm noticing that on the tips of this leaf, it's really dark, so we're going to have to blend in some colors with your oil pastels that hopefully you have at home. If you don't have oil pastels at home, you can use crayons or markers, or even just leaving them as a beautiful line drawing is fine. So I need to make this darker. So I need to give it a tint. So I'm going to use just a small amount of black. Just a small amount of black kind of here and there, because then I'm going to blend it. It looks almost like it's darkest right along the edges. This side has some brown in it. And I think when we blend these, so I'm just using my finger. And remember, sometimes in art, we get a little messy, but you can always just wash your hands at the end, right? No big deal. So a little bit of black goes a long way, you can see. Now I pretty much covered up my marker lines with my veins. So I think I'm going to choose to let this set for a minute, and then I'll go back over my veins with my yellow. Kind of just sit it on top. I'm not going to blend it in. I'm going to just redraw where I can see those marker lines, so I can get the veins back. Now, you want to be careful when you're blending with oil pastels, because this black could carry over to a place where I don't want it. So I'm going to actually use a different finger each time I blend. So that one's done. Let's take a look at this guy over here. This is definitely more of an orange color to my artist eye than the pure red. It definitely has red to it, but I think that I'm going to add a little bit of orange to my red. So again, I'm going to start with my kind of base color here. Start with my red. And you notice I'm not coloring it in solid. I'm just kind of putting a little bit of red on there, because when I blend, once I blend it with the orange, I think it'll be just the right color. Now, if you didn't have orange, if you remember, you can mix red and yellow to get orange. But I happen to have an orange oil pastel, so I'm going to put it right on top of that red. Trying to leave my vein lines a little bit here if possible. If not, I'll just redraw them like we did over there. It's not a big deal. So I don't even have to make sure that every little bit of paper is colored, because I'm going to be blending it and it will spread around nicely. Okay, so I'm going to not use the finger that I just used because there's black on it, and I don't want the black on this leaf. Oh yeah, this is giving me just what I wanted. Trying not to spend a lot of time on top of my vein lines, because I sort of wanted to see if they would peek through. So your leaves might look really different than Miss B's, and that's fine, because that's this whole point of observational drawing, is to help you get better at noticing details, seeing differences in objects, and being able to represent those objects with your drawing. And again, if you traced your leaves, that's perfectly fine. Perfectly fine. This stem is actually really dark, so I'm going to use my black, darken up that stem. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with that extra line right now. I'm not going to worry about it. It's not really a big deal. Okay, so now we're down to this little guy. I think we did pretty well. Once these colors kind of set up a little bit, I may use my markers to go back in and see what I can do with those vein lines on this one. But I'm not unhappy with it. I think it looks pretty close. All right, so we've got this little guy who had all the sawtooth marks, right? Actually, I think it might have been that one. So this one, again, I think it looks kind of the same as that. It's not really the same as that one. That one had a lot more dark in it. It doesn't really seem to be the same color as the one we just did there. That must be lost the leaf. There it is. But it's still pretty red. So I think I'm gonna start with my red oil pastel and get my base color on there. It's almost as if this one's kind of a brighter red to me. Like it almost looks like the light kind of bounces off of it. I can use the finger that I used up there. Kind of leaving that a little bit lighter, but I'm going to go in and add some yellow. sort of toward the center. I kind of want it to look as if the light is coming right through it, just like it does to my artist eye in real life. It's got a little bit of black on the edge there. I want us to be very conscientious of all of the little details that you can observe in the leaf. So we observed not only are they different colors and kind of have different aspects to them, but they're actually, this red leaf is from a different tree. It's not a maple leaf. It's a beech tree. For those of you that studied leaves with me last fall, we were learning all the different types of trees that are around us here in New York. That got a little dark on me. Let's see what I can do. Put a little orange back in there, and I probably won't even blend that in. I'm just going to kind of let it sit on the top. So again, it doesn't take much black. Black is sort of that bully color that we talk about, right? That it likes to push all the other colors around and kind of tries to dull them. And I've decided, as I've been observing the big leaf up there, because it's still, my artist eye is still continuing to look at it. Okay, I think we've got that. That stem is brown for sure. Now I don't have a brown, but what I do know is that the three primary colors, so red, yellow, and blue, will give me brown. Let's see see if it happens. So we've got red on there, right? Let's try to put some yellow and some blue and a little bit of red. And then I'm going to use a different finger to blend those three colors. And look at that. We made brown by just mixing our three primary colors. So I'm looking at this leaf again, and I'm thinking about the fact that it kind of almost looks a little lighter in this area, maybe a little kind of more orangish. So if I mix red and yellow, that should give us orange, right? Add some yellow into the spots that look brighter to me. So kind of right down the center. To me, it looks a little brighter to my artist eye. So I'm going to come back in. Let's see. Pick a finger, any finger. I'm going to use my left hand this time. Sort of just gently blending in that yellow. Got a little bit of a black streak there, don't I? Might make an artist choice decision because it's my drawing and I'm in charge of it. I might just leave that black that ended up kind of on the veins there and let it be a point of interest. I didn't like the way that my colors didn't really make it all the way to the edge of the line, so I'm kind of just adjusting that a little bit. And if the blending part like ends up going over your drawing line, you're the artist, you can just make it a little bit bigger. Okay, friends, let's take one last look at this one. I see a little bit of green here and here. So grab my green. Sometimes it takes your artist's eye, a little bit longer to notice things. So it's always fine to just go back to a spot on your drawing if you notice that you're missing something. So I see a little green there, just a tiny bit of green there, a little bit of green up here. And I'm gonna just blend that with a different finger. Not gonna try to make it disappear, but I do want it to sort of blend in a little bit. Yeah, I think that looks better. All right, friends, we have done it. Look at those beautiful drawings that look just like our leaves. Great job, Picasso pups. Snap a picture and send it to Miss B in Seesaw, or send it to your teacher in Seesaw, and they will make sure I see it. All right, friends, I hope you have fun, and I'll see you soon. I don't know if this will cover this up or not. Oh, it made it go a little. I'm just gonna do a couple final touches with my marker. I think that was bronze. I'm gonna, I think they're the same one. Kind of go over these. Bring those veins out a little more. So by letting the oil pastels kind of rest for a little bit, it enables you to go back over top of them with your markers, or you could even use your crayons or colored pencils. It's really just whatever materials you have at home are fine. Miss B just wants you to demonstrate that you can make warm colors in a drawing. Okay, friends, I think now I'm done. I'll see you soon.